Hi folks, just a brief introduction to a bit of mould making that I'm doing at the moment with some latex molds. So a couple of them are in the process of receiving a few coats of latex. That we have a little gargoyle there. I can show you a completed version of. He's actually the fourth gargoyle that I've made. I find them very easy to cast once it's made, and I have the original which I got in Carcassonne in France. And I just liked it, so yeah, I can show you the original. But in the meantime, that's what he looks like with a few coats of latex. I think he's about half done. I put on one very thin coat of latex, catch the detail. Then I have added, after 3 or 4 coats of thin latex, I've added the latex thickener. And this is the latex that I use. Polycraft liquid latex. Get a 5 litres, approximately €17 delivered. A place in Northern Ireland, mbfg.co.uk. It's a fiberglass company, but they have all this sort of thing, so that's where I get that. It's very good, and it cures very quickly. You don't have to mess around, wait too long, and it cures very evenly. So I add the latex thickener. There's another one. There's another one. That's the one that I got from MFBG. It's a bigger container. Does the same trick. That was about €3 delivered, something like that. Okay. So now we come to this skull. The skull is actually plastic underneath the latex there. He has all sorts of designs around the head. I'm almost ready to take him out of the mould. But if you just look underneath, you see there's a different discoloured patch there. I discovered there was actually a hole in the latex where it hadn't gone in properly. So I plugged that up. I got a little bit of jute scrim and soaked that in latex, and I plugged the hole up. But the result is that it's holding up the time that it's taken for that model to cure. Now if you just see on the other side, I can't focus this thing now on this light. I'll do a proper video when it's bright. Anyway, you can see the same. I've stuffed scrim soaked in latex into the side there. That's going to take a few days to cure as well. Then he should be ready. Just look at the flange there. It's pretty thick. I mean, when that's full of concrete, it's not going to be particularly heavy. I mean, he's about that size. So he's not going to be very heavy, but I want the flange to be able to support it so the head doesn't distort. This is mould in progress of something that I actually made. I'll show you now. Excuse me, the house is an absolute mess. Stuff everywhere. So yeah, that's what it looks like. And it was concrete poured into a Chinese takeaway container. And then I added these concrete casted nightlight holders. And this is the original. Oh man, I must clean this place up sometime. There's fishing hooks all over the place. This is the original. These are nightlight holders somebody gave me a loan of, so I took the model from them. I took the mold from them. Now, they didn't turn out perfect. They're a little bit rough around the edges, so I just had an idea. But I would, take the gargoyle out of the way. And yeah, so it's a tray like this. Pour your concrete mixture into it. Sit the little nightlight holders down on top of the concrete. If you can fit two, fit two. A couple of days. She's ready. So that's what I'm doing there. Rather than have to make it up individually with 2 pieces, I decided to take the mould of the sculpture itself and to see what happens there. It should be okay. There is one that's exactly the same. It's curing. You can see the pots were put at the bottom of the plastic container, so there you can see that. But it doesn't matter. It won't affect the depth. So I'm going to take this out tomorrow, and I'm going to take my first casting from it tomorrow. So it's just about cured. It's not a very exact science, but I know when it's ready, it should be okay. I've got a little gargoyle curing there. That's actually the first mould that I made of the gargoyle, which I've been talking about. I suppose I better get one of them. That's what the gargoyle looks like. So that's not a perfect casting. There's a fair few bubbles and things like that in it, but it's okay, you know, it's okay. The bubbles have been less of a problem, and I've been tweaking my cement, my concrete mixture. That's an early one. There's a little bit of one or two little bubbles in it. Now I generally fill the bubbles, so that one seems okay. But yeah, it wouldn't be perfect. So I think the molds actually improve the more of them you do. You get better. You get a better idea, and a better feel for everything. So this is large mould here, which the light is terrible. Large mould here that's actually satyr face, sort of like, I think it's Roman mythology, something like that. So that's on its about 20th coat of this latex, thickened and unthickened. It needs lots. The thing itself, when it's finished, it holds quite a lot of cement or plaster. So I want it to be tough anyway. The latex is cheap, so it's not a problem. This is a little Santa Claus chap that I got in TK Maxx yesterday. It was the only one they had left in the shop. So I reckon this would be the time to start casting Christmas ornaments if you can get them. This is about, what, 8-9 inches high, something like that. So what I'm casting is a very big flange, well, a very strong flange. So when I sit it down into something, I'm not making mother mold for it. When I sit it down into something, the flange should support it and it won't become distorted. There's not a lot of detail or anything like that to it, so I don't anticipate it's going to be a problem at all. This is a green man. He's nearly ready. I have the positive of that somewhere. Just give me 1 second. This is one of the castings from the green men. That's it's not perfect. There's a couple of dings in it, but I have some better ones around the place anyway. But that's what the casting comes like from the latex mold that I'm making now. I have several of them. I've been trying to sell them, but it's slack time for anything like that at the moment. This is, see, more of a mess. This is what the green man looks like out of the mold. So that one has a couple of bubbles in it as well. But like I said, you gradually get better at these things. You get a better feel for the concrete as well as for the thing. For the moulding. So that's the green man there, and that's the mould to the right of it. So in actual fact, that the casting that I used for this mould is better quality than this. I actually did it in Herculite and not in concrete. So there's no bubbles or anything like that, so there won't be any bubbles in the mould. And that's the important thing, because if you have a bubble in a mould or a flaw in the mould, everything you cast from that point on is going to reflect that bubble and it'll become just a pain. I have completed little green men moulds here. I'll just take her out. Okay, so that's what the green man looked like. That was the green man that I placed, that I had on the table, and then I painted the latex over it. So that was an original casting from a mold I got from China. So I'm basically just copying the Chinese mold. That's what it looks like with the green man having come out. It's too thin to require a mother mold or anything like that, so I'll just literally stand it in a top of a cup or a bowl or something. It won't take long to set it at any rate. So generally then I place one of these little picture hanging hooks in the concrete at the back like that, so you can hang it on the wall or whatever. I'll do more tomorrow. I just want to stick this YouTube video up. I'm having a lot of fun. I've been making molds now for the last 2 months. So if anybody else shares my hobby or has any comments or criticism or anything like that at all, just let me know, and hit me up a like. Thanks very much.